You've met someone like this before. They're charming when they're present, warm, magnetic. They say the right things at the right moments. And then, without warning, they pull away, go quiet, become suddenly unavailable. And the strange thing is, the more they pull away, the more you want them. The chasing doesn't feel desperate. It feels necessary. Like something inside you has decided this person matters, and nothing anyone else says or does can override it. Meanwhile, someone who is actually consistent, who shows up, who texts back, who makes you feel safe, doesn't create that same feeling. Something about them feels flat, boring even. You've probably asked yourself, why do I keep going after people who clearly aren't available to me? Why does someone who actually shows up feel less interesting? Jung had an answer, and it's not the one most people expect. To understand why emotionally unavailable people feel so compelling, you have to start somewhere that seems unrelated, your earliest experiences of being loved. Not the love that was given to you freely, the love you reached for and couldn't quite grasp. Jung understood, and modern attachment research has since confirmed that the nervous system learns what love feels like in the first years of life. Not what it should feel like, what it does feel like. The emotional signature of connection is formed early, and it is formed not by the relationships that went smoothly, but by the ones that kept you slightly off balance. If a parent was warm but inconsistent, present and loving in some moments, emotionally absent in others, your nervous system registered that pattern as what love is, not reliability, not steadiness, intermittency. The unpredictability itself became the signal. Jung would call this the formation of a complex, a charged cluster of emotion, memory, and expectation that lives in the unconscious and silently filters how you experience relationships in the present. You don't choose to be drawn to unavailable people. The complex does the choosing, and it does so because it is trying to do something that feels urgent, resolve the original experience. The person who felt emotionally out of reach in your early life left an unfinished story, and the unconscious, which does not distinguish past from present, keeps casting the same character into new roles, hoping this time the story ends differently. Here is the part that is hardest to see from inside the pattern. When you're drawn to someone emotionally unavailable, you are not actually drawn to them. You are drawn to what you believe, what your unconscious believes they could eventually give you. There is a fantasy running beneath the attraction. It is not a conscious fantasy. It sounds something like, if this specific person, who is difficult to reach, who does not give love easily, if they choose me, then something is finally resolved. Something that was never resolved before. Jung called this projection. We don't fall in love with people. We fall in love with what we project onto them. And the most powerful projections are the ones carrying unfinished emotional business. The pursuit of the unavailable person is, at its core, an attempt to rewrite the past, to finally get the love that was withheld, to prove, at last, that you are enough to be chosen by someone who doesn't choose easily. The tragedy is that it cannot work, because the wound was not created by this person, and it cannot be healed by them either. When you finally win the attention of someone unavailable, there is a brief, intoxicating sense of triumph, and then the hunger returns, because what you were looking for was never really them. The attraction, as painful as it is not pointing you towards that person. It is pointing you toward something unfinished inside yourself. So what actually changes the pattern? It begins with a question most people never think to ask. Not, Why do I keep choosing unavailable people? But what am I actually looking for when I pursue them? Because the need beneath the pattern is real. The longing is not weakness. It is not neediness. It is a genuine human need that was not adequately met at a formative time and has been searching for resolution ever since. Jung's process of individuation asks us to stop outsourcing our deepest needs to other people and to begin, slowly and imperfectly, to meet those needs from within. This does not mean becoming self-sufficient in a cold, closed-off way. It means learning to provide yourself the steadiness, the acknowledgement, the presence that you have been seeking in people who could not offer it. The woman who pursues emotionally unavailable men is often, when she turns inward, emotionally unavailable to herself. She has never learned to sit with her own discomfort, meet her own needs, or believe she deserves consistency without having to earn it. The relationship pattern is the symptom. The wound is older and quieter than any particular person. The man who is only drawn to partners who eventually withdraw is often carrying a conviction so deep he has never articulated it, that consistent love is not for him, that he must earn it, that its absence is somehow proof of something he always suspected. And so he is drawn again and again to dynamics that confirm this, not because he wants to suffer, but because the unconscious moves toward what is familiar, even when familiar means painful. The way out is not to simply choose better. It is to become curious about what the attraction is actually telling you about what you need, and to begin, gently, to provide some of that for yourself. Here is a place to start. Tonight, if you want to. Think about the last person who felt magnetic to you in that specific way. The pull that felt almost involuntary. Don't analyze them. Turn the attention inward. First question, what did the pursuit feel like? Not the person, the state of pursuing. Was there urgency, aliveness, a sense of purpose? This matters, because sometimes the attraction is partly to the feeling of wanting, which is more familiar than the feeling of having. Second question, what would it have meant if they had fully chosen you? If they had become completely available, consistent, present? What would that have resolved? What would have finally been true about you that you weren't sure was true before? Third question, where else in your life are you waiting to be chosen before you fully show up for yourself? Not in relationships, inside yourself. Are you withholding your own approval from yourself until someone external gives it first? You don't need to answer these immediately. Jung believed that the unconscious responds to genuine curiosity over time, that asking the right questions plants a seed that slowly breaks the surface. The pattern doesn't dissolve overnight, but it begins to loosen the moment you stop asking, what is wrong with the people I choose? And start asking, what is this pattern trying to show me about myself? If this landed for you, the next video is on why you sabotage good relationships, why the person who is actually available, actually kind, can feel somehow wrong. It follows directly from what we covered today. It's on screen now. If you want to go deeper into the psychology underneath these patterns, Harville Hendrix's book, Getting the Love You Want, makes the dynamic we discussed today extraordinarily clear. Amir Levine's Attached Pairs well with it from the attachment science side. Both links are in the description. This channel exists for one reason: to take the ideas that explain human experience most accurately and make them genuinely useful. Not just intellectually interesting, but actually usable in the life you're living right now. I'll see you in the next one.